Crypto giant Binance has admitted to money laundering and agrees to pay $4.3 billion to the US government. Meanwhile, the CEO Changpeng Zhao, or CZ, is going to resign and pay a $50 million individual fine as part of a plea deal with the US Justice Department. Stay tuned to find out more. Today's episode is sponsored by Cake Wallet, where you can send, receive, and even exchange your crypto right from within the wallet. Cake Wallet is open source and non-custodial, so you control your own private keys. Available today on iOS, macOS, Android, and Linux. And StealthEX, a privacy-centric crypto exchange which enables you to make crypto-to-crypto exchanges anonymously. Good evening everybody, and a warm welcome back to Enter Crypto with me, Chris Kenya, and this is the channel where every single day I keep you informed and fully up to date on all the goings on in the cryptoverse. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then like, subscribe and click on that notifications bell so that you don't miss out on any future updates. Now, unfortunately guys, you heard the introduction to this video correctly. Binance and CZ are in a lot of trouble. News came out last night that Binance have basically admitted to money laundering, and they're going to agree to pay the US government over $4 billion. And then at the same time, we've got CZ who's, he's had to resign. He's been fined $50 million personally. And this is all part of basically a plea deal with the US Justice Department. So basically, as part of this guilty plea, CZ has the $50 million fine personally. He's also barred from any involvement in the business at all. So Binance's, daily goings on. And Binance actually, as a company, have also pled guilty to and are going to accept the appointment of a monitor and pay criminal fines of nearly $1.8 billion, as well as a $2.5 billion order of forfeiture to settle 3 criminal charges. And so the DOJ released a press statement yesterday and had a big press conference in Washington. And so let's just watch the Attorney General Merrick Garland give that statement.
We are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance, and from its founder and CEO, Changpeng Zhao, also known as CZ. Separate from the criminal enforcement actions, the Justice Department is announcing today Secretary Yellen and Chairman Benham will also announce civil regulatory enforcement actions, and the Treasury Department and the CFTC are taking against Binance. While criminal and civil enforcement actions are subject to different legal standards, this collective effort represents the whole of government approach that we are taking to combat corporate crime. Binance has agreed to plead guilty to willfully violating the Bank Secrecy Act, knowingly failing to register as a money-transmitting business, and willfully violating the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. These laws ensure that our financial institutions are not available to designated terrorist organizations, drug traffickers, and sanctioned nation-states that threaten public safety and our national security. The Justice Department is requiring Binance to pay $4.3 billion in penalties and forfeitures. This is one of the largest penalties we have ever obtained from a corporate defendant in a criminal matter. The Justice Department is also imposing a monitorship as well as reporting requirements on Binance as part of today's resolution. Moving forward, Binance must file the suspicious activity reports that were required by law.
So we've actually got Merrick Garland here, who's the Attorney General for the DOJ. So we've got the Department of Justice involved here, who are the most serious, player in the US government for this type of thing. You've got Janet Yellen in the background there, the Secretary for the US Treasury. So, and we already know that the SEC are involved as well, which is another government department, although civil. So this is really bad news. This is the whole of the government basically coming down on Binance. Now, there has been a lot of speculation on Twitter that this has something somehow to do with BlackRock, and that because BlackRock is in bed with Coinbase, and Binance being another exchange or rival to Coinbase, that they have somehow orchestrated that the US government come down on Binance and shut them down. I don't know how true that is. It wouldn't surprise me, because BlackRock certainly have the influence and the money to make something like this happen very easily. But now the interesting thing about this is that Binance is actually still going. It's still running. So there's no actual problems with the exchange itself like there was with FTX. You know, people couldn't withdraw the money from FTX. Customers were being kind of ripped off and scammed, and they lost the money. In this case, nobody's lost any money. So it's quite strange. It's quite strange that there's nobody calling for justice. Nobody wants CZ's head. You know, Binance is an okay as far as the users are concerned. You know, we've all been made whole. There's no problems. You can still withdraw, even though they had over $1.3 billion of withdrawals last night, just after this news, because people were panicking. But they all went through, and it's just operating as normal today. So it's not. If the plan was to take Binance down, it's not been very successful. And although people did panic, they probably didn't panic as much as maybe the government would have hoped if that was their intention in the first place. But as far as Changpeng Zhao's concerned, you know, he's toast. He's not going to be coming back now. He's finished with that. The government are going to make sure he does not get back with Binance. He's not. Well, there's just rules now that he can't come back. Otherwise, he'll be in he'll be in trouble criminally. He might have to go to prison. I mean, he may still have to go to prison. I think at the moment he's just got one charge that he's been charged with, and he's pled guilty to. And I believe, if I'm not wrong, I think it was just wire fraud. And so, whilst it is bad, it's only one charge, and it's kind of obviously it's going to be his first offence, and it's going to be a non-violent crime. He may well, and he's pled guilty early on, so he may get no prison sentence here. They may just put some, and he's paid massive fines as well. So it's quite likely that will not go to prison. And of course, there's no creditors that's lost money, so there's nobody sort of wants justice except the US government. But it's also interesting as well how the US government are now trying to spin the media against Binance as well, in the sense that they're now saying that Binance let Hamas and let ISIS and Daesh and all these other terrorist groups that the US classify as terrorist groups, that Binance let them operate on that exchange. And so, which may be true, it may not be true, I have absolutely no idea, but it's just quite funny how they'll come out and say this and make sure that everybody knows. It's kind of like a multi-pronged attack. And if that is even true, if it is true that terrorists have used Binance, which it probably is, because everybody uses Binance. It's the biggest exchange in the world, so terrorists will have used it as well. Normal people use it, criminals have used it, you know, all walks of life use it. Then it would have been the same for FTX, because FTX was the second biggest exchange, but we didn't hear this rhetoric. We didn't have this narrative of terrorism that they were using FTX. So, but they will have just been using it the same, because it was still a massive exchange. So it's always interesting to hear how the governments are trying to manipulate the media or manipulate the message that the masses or that we get. So that's the article today. Not good news, but news nonetheless. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all tomorrow evening. Take care.